Hi, and welcome to Graham Ram One Plays Fortnite. Today, I want to talk to you about what it's like to play with children in this game. So, before I start that, let me explain to those that maybe haven't seen my other videos how I got started playing Fortnite. My grandchildren came to visit, and it was during COVID, and they were no longer able to go and play all their sports, basketball, football, baseball, swimming, soccer. They played it all. And so they found themselves kind of locked in the house and doing homeschool and needing something to do in the house. So they found these games on the computer. When they came to visit me, I found that I wasn't really socializing with them very much because they were always playing the games. And I thought to myself, times have changed. And it used to be kids played outside, but we do have COVID, so that kind of takes that out anyway. But even still, they live in a different time, and technology is what it's all about for them. And it will be probably in the future for quite some time. So my thought was I need to meet them where they're at. So I asked them what they were playing. I watched them and I said, I think I'm going to learn how to play. So my grandkids were really excited because my oldest one says, oh, great. I'm going to tell my friends that my grandma beat you. And I thought that was kind of funny. And I will go further into why that's even funnier now. So if you go back and you watch my first video, I talk about the struggles on getting started with Fortnite and why I started this channel for other people, especially older people that want to do something like this, but are maybe afraid or don't understand how to get started. So that's how this all came to be. Now, the first thing I will say is the strategies in the minds of children in playing this game is very different than the strategies I think of older people. So I'm a very competitive person. And to me, any game you're playing, the object is to win. So when I went in and played Fortnite, they would take me to these places that were just loaded with people, and I couldn't fight because I didn't, one, know what I was doing, and I wasn't as quick. And their strategy is kill as many people as you can. And my strategy is stay alive, and out of 100 people, you should only have to kill one, if one, to win. And I say if one because in this game, if they get caught in the storm or an animal attacks them or they fall off of a roof or something like that, they can die and you can actually win without firing at anybody. So I realize that doesn't sound so fun, but you're still busy. You're running and you're doing things. You're just not engaging in combat. So my grandkids played with me for quite some time, and their friends played with me. So you can invite friends in and have friends join you. And so I have a friend list, which is made up of their friends and friends of their friends. So now here we are, almost a year later, not quite, but we're close to a year later that I've been playing. And I find I'm playing more with my grandkids' friends than I do with my grandkids. And the reason why that is, I think, is partly because they're back at school and they're back engaged in their physical activities. But as far as the game itself goes, I've gotten better. And so when you go into the careers and you look at what your scores are and stuff, mine are actually higher. And I think because I'm not as easy to kill, they're competitive also. And I think that because now I can actually present a challenge, it's not as fun to them. I don't know for sure. I know the last time I played with my oldest grandson, we were playing duos. We were going down the river in a boat, and I knew there was a cliff coming up. I don't think he thought I knew where we were, but I did. And I kept saying, why are we going there? Why are we going there? He goes, just wait, you'll see, you'll see. And he bails as the boat goes over with me in it. and he's just laughing, having a great time. So we weren't really playing the game. It was more of a, let me see what I can do to grandma. So he tried to put a building on fire, and I'm like, we're a team. What are you doing? And that was the last time we actually played. I don't know if that's because he just doesn't want to. I don't know. But it's still a very fun game. I've learned it. I love it. And I would love to play with them. But like I said, right now I'm playing more with their friends than I do with them. And the friends seem to enjoy it. So I don't know why they don't want to play with me for sure. And I'm not a bad grandma. All right. So many of these kids that you play with, they have struggles in their lives, and they're going to want to talk. So I suggest that if they start to open up to you, be very careful. I'm coming, I guess, from that retired teacher background of, distance, know your boundaries. And I think it applies as much, if not more, even online, because you do not want to find yourself in some sort of predicament because of something you said online to a kid. So you need to be careful. I generally will let them talk because they obviously need to. I try not to give them any advice. I just try to encourage them that things will get better, to hang in there, find help if they need it, whatever. But I try to stay out of what's going on in their families' lives because, one, it's not my business, and two, it's dangerous territory as an adult online getting involved with kids like that. So be careful there. I'm trying to look at my list as I go through so I don't forget anything. So you have a creative room in Fortnite. And in that creative room, even if you don't go in it, every player has one. And these kids love creative, and they will go into their room and create games. So sometimes they're going to ask you if you want to go with them. And I strongly encourage you to do so because it's so much fun. I will give you an example of a little girl. She's 7. I don't know if she's had a birthday, but when I played with her on this, she was 7. And she had made a little game. It was so cute. She made a game. It was a racing game. And you could race in any traversal emote in this setup she had going. So we started to play it, and I noticed that there were some things that could be improved upon. So I asked her if she wanted any suggestions, and she said, sure. So together, we were able to improve her game. She felt so good. It was really fun. And she would ask me other questions and ask me for ideas and stuff. And it was just teamwork. And it's a nice way to help kids know how to interact with grandparents, older people that were not just sitting in some rocking chair waiting to die. We have brains and experiences, and we can be helpful. So that is also very fun to do, go into creative. You're going to find some kids are not very nice, and some kids can come into a room and just want to wreak havoc. They pick on other kids. They say things that aren't nice. They may have a foul mouth. Just can be very inappropriate. So I will give you an example of how I handled this in a couple of different ways. I had one boy come in, and we were playing, and he wasn't doing very well. And he kept making some really inappropriate remarks about certain types of people. And I don't want to get into it because it was not very nice, but I kept asking him to stop. There were 3 of us playing, and the other person was his friend. And his friend became very quiet. And I kept telling him, you need to stop. That's not good. And it's inappropriate. And he wouldn't stop. So after the 3rd time of asking him to stop, I just left the room. So you can do that. You can just exit out. And if you need to, you can also block them from being able to come into your room. But I just exited out. A few minutes later, he comes back, and I think his friend must have told him, because I said, I'm going to leave if you don't stop. And I think his friend told him, because I don't think he heard me. He comes in. He goes, did you leave because of what I was saying? I said, yes. I said, that's just totally inappropriate in any situation. You shouldn't be talking like that. And of course, he had his excuse that he doesn't like to lose and doesn't like it when he doesn't play well. And so he kind of goes off in these tangents. And I then told him that he had control of his thoughts and what comes out of his mouth, and that that was just totally wrong. And I didn't need to be there. And if he wanted to do that, I would leave. And if it got worse, I would block him. And this little boy is really funny because here's another thing that'll happen to you sometimes. Well, it does to me. I'm playing, usually duos, squads, whatever. A new player comes in that doesn't know me. They hear me talking. Sometimes they will immediately go, oh, hell no, and they're out. I don't care what age they are. They will say that. And they'll leave. Some of them come back. And this little boy did. He came back after he made that remark. And then he just watched me play. He didn't join. He just watched. And then he wanted to play with me. And so that's how that friendship got started. So other kids will come in and they may put down other players. They may say they're not very good and they don't know what they're doing and stuff like that. I always feel bad for them because they're on the other end having to listen to this. And I will sometimes say, that's not very nice to say. Today I was playing with a boy and his cousin came in. He wanted his cousin to play. So his cousin came in and started playing with us. He says he's not very good. And I go, can he hear us? Because he wasn't able to speak. He didn't have a mic. Because, yeah, he can hear us. He just can't talk. Oh, okay. And he kept on bashing his cousin. And I thought, it's not very nice. Well, then another one of his friends came in and now we had a squad. And I don't like playing squads, but he wanted to go play something in creative. And I'm not a big creative player either. And he said, well, we'll go play and we'll just leave his cousin out. And I said, no. If you want to go play with your friend on that, that's fine. I'll play with your cousin. And he said, okay. So he left. Me and his cousin played and we took second place. So that was fun in the sense that I hope to support him. And then for him to come out, and he was the one that actually, I died and he couldn't reboot me because we were that close in the end of the game. And then he got shot. But it was fun. And it's time to be able to build up their courage, their ego, whatever, and just tell them what a great job they're doing because they're not getting it from their cousin. Not in that situation. So be aware that you will probably come across some kids that just really aren't very nice, but you can, as an adult, guide them on to how they should act online, playing with other people. Then if they don't want to comply, they aren't going to change, block them, don't play with them. Kids also like to switch games a lot. You could be playing duos and now they want to go over to creative. Then they want to go over here. And then they want to do this. I will do it to a certain extent, but I'm kind of set in my ways and I like to play in Battle Royale. So they also like to take you into creative, especially if they know you don't do it because usually you're going to get killed over and over and over. You respawn, so you come back to life quickly, but then they're ready for you and they're going to shoot you. And I think it's their way of kind of showing off and how good they are. And I don't know, but they're having fun at your expense. So I'm okay with that. I only stay in till I'm done. And I'm like, I'm good. I got to go later. The last thing I would say is to be sure you protect yourself. We're always talking about children protecting themselves online, but as older people, adults playing with children, you just need to protect yourself. Don't get involved in personal conversations. Watch what you're saying if they start to share about things in their family. I've had kids try to tell me where they live, what their last names are. I don't need to know all that. And I try to stop them. I'm like, stop. You should not be sharing that with me or anybody else online. That's how predators find you. And I'm glad you think I'm a nice grandma, but you personally don't know me. And people can come off very nice, but not be nice. So as older people, we need to be careful too that we don't get caught into something that can be dangerous. I'm going to give you an example because this is really, really weird. I had a boy, at least I thought he was a boy. He was 6 years old, and he came on, and the first thing he said to me was, how old are you? And I said, well, I'm a grandma. And he's like, I'm 6. And I go, okay. He goes, do you want a date? I'm like, what does that mean to you? He goes, well, I need a girlfriend. And I said, you're 6. He goes, yeah, but I need a girlfriend. So do you want a date? I said, no, I'm a grandmother. I am so old compared to you. And I'm not on here looking for a date. He goes, okay, well, I got to go then because I got to go find me a date. And then he's like, so I'm going to go hunt me a girlfriend. I'll be back, maybe. And he left. I got to thinking about that. And I thought, was that really a kid? Or was that a predator that maybe had a voice change box or something that made them sound like a kid? It was really weird. Then he came back. It was either later that day or the next day. Said he still couldn't find a girlfriend. We never played. His conversations were always about finding a girlfriend, and we never played the game. So anyway, be careful because you too can get into some trouble, surprisingly. But be careful. And I think, let me look at my notes. Yeah, just I have down here to make sure you don't ask them anything personal. I actually don't ask them to join my game unless it's my grandsons or friends of theirs that I have actually met in person. So there are some that I've met in person. I met their parents, so they're aware that I'm playing. They know that relationship with my grandkids. And so I feel comfortable that if I wanted to go in and they were playing, I could invite them to join me or see if I could join them. But I very rarely even do that. I allow those kids to ask me to join them or ask to be invited to my party. So that way I just feel like I'm have that another layer of protection. Maybe I'm overprotective, but I think it's wise with computers to watch your back. So I would like to say thank you and ask you to please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Leave me a comment if you like. I would appreciate that. And I will see you in the next video.